I Survived the Nazi Invasion, 1944, by Lauren Tarshies. What do you think is going on in the cover page?
There's a war and a kid running away.
Yeah,
The war.
This book is dedicated to the Jewish partitions of World War II, with special mention to those whose incredible life stories I discovered in my research and inspired the characters in this book. Lisa and Zena Bart, Miriam Brasic, Leon Kahn, Ben Kam, Vitka Kempner, Resna Korzak, Abba Kovner, Miles Lerman, and Shalom Yoren. Chapter 1. August 10, 1944. Loda Forest, Eastern Poland. All across Europe, Jewish people were being hunted. Millions were already dead. But 11-year-old Max Rosen was determined to stay alive. Max thought that he and his little sister, Zena, would be safe in the forest. But now they were caught in a massive bombing attack. German planes roared through the sky, dropping 1,000-pound bombs that fell with shattering explosions. Kaboom! Enormous trees became flaming torches. Sparks showered down like burning snowflakes. Twisted metal and razor-sharp shards of wood blew up all around them. And that was only the beginning. That must have been scary, right? Soon soldiers with machine guns would stampede through the forest, hunting for people who had survived the explosions and fires. Anyone they caught would be shot on the spot. Max gripped Zena's hand and they ran for their lives. Their only hope was a nearby swamp. They could hide in the mud and slime, with the snakes and the snapping turtles with the razor-sharp grass. It's gross. But then came the biggest explosion of all. Kaboom! The force ripped Max and Zena away from each other and sent him flying through the air. His body twisted and turned. His mind swirled with terror. Smack! He landed in a ditch. He lay there dazed. Was he still alive? But then there was a thundering crack above. Max looked up just in time to see a massive flaming tree crashing down on top of him. Chapter 2. 3 days earlier, the Jewish ghetto, Estes, Poland. Max and his 9-year-old sister Zena walked along the dark and dirty street, ignoring the rat that skidded by. They hadn't eaten since last night's watery potato soup, and they were hoping to find something for supper. They had no money and nothing left to trade, but they weren't ready to give up. Suddenly 2 German soldiers appeared from around the corner, and their boots clicking sharply on the stone sidewalk. Max and Zena jumped into the gutter. Max wanted to curse these men, spit at them, chase them out of town, but he stood quietly, eyes down and clenching his fists as he waited for the soldiers to pass. The men were Nazis, killer soldiers of Adolf Hitler, Germany's leader. Hitler had started a terrible war. He had sent his brutal armies to invade countries all over Europe. A year ago, Nazi soldiers marched into Estes, the Polish town where Max's family had lived for hundreds of years. The Nazis came with their tanks, their machine guns, and their hatred of Jewish people like Max and Zena. Hitler told hideous lies, blaming Jews for every problem in the world. In Estes, Nazi soldiers destroyed Jewish-owned businesses, including Papa's electrical repair shop. They set fire to the synagogue and ripped apart sacred Torah scrolls. They attacked Jewish people on the streets, including Dr. Latham, who had taken such good care of Mama before he died. What had Dr. Latham done to deserve a beating? He had dared to look at soldiers as he walked by them. That's not right. 2 months after the invasion, the Nazis forced all Jewish people to leave their homes. They all had to move into a ghetto, this bleak neighborhood of crumbling buildings on the edge of town. The ghetto was surrounded by a barbed wire fence and patrolled by Nazi guards and policemen. It was like living in a jail. But the worst was to come. A month ago, in the middle of the night, policemen arrested Papa and dragged him away. They took dozens of other Jewish men too. No one had any idea where they had been taken. But they were terrifying whispers about gunshots echoing through the hills around the town. They locked trains that took Jewish people to prison camps. Some said this was all happening around Europe. There were rumors that hundreds of thousands of Jews had been taken away, and they had never been heard from again. Max didn't know what to believe. All he knew was that each day life seemed to get worse. He and Zena lived all alone now, in a small dark room that stank of garbage. I hate the smell of garbage, don't you? It must have been horrible. As life got harder and harder, Max thought of what his Aunt Hannah had said to him just before the invasion. She put her hands on Max's shoulders and looked at him with her glittering green eyes. The Nazis want to take everything from us, she said in a clear and certain voice. Do not let them take away your hope. Max looked around him now, at the women limping past with tears in their eyes, at their rag children slumped in the doorways. Finding hope in the ghetto was harder than finding food. Just then, Zena grabbed his arm. Max, look, she said, pointing at the little bird perched on the barbed wire fence at the end of the alley. It's a robin, Zena said. Don't you know what robins are lucky birds? Don't you know that robins are lucky birds? Max arched an eyebrow at his sister. After all that happened to them, did she really believe there was such a thing as a lucky bird? But then he glanced at something else, just behind the bird, a raspberry bush covered with bright red berries. Max stared, imagining the sweet fruit bursting in his mouth. Zena saw them too. He and Zena rushed to the fence and dropped to their knees. They carefully stuck their arms between the wires, avoiding the razor-sharp barbs. They stretched their fingers, but they couldn't reach a single berry. The bush was just a few inches too far away. Max looked around. He could see no guards watching this area, and there was just enough space under the fence for Max to squeeze through. It was dangerous. Anyone caught trying to leave the ghetto was arrested or worse. But Max wasn't trying to escape. He would be outside the fence for just a minute or so. I'll be quick, he said to Zena. No, she said. Her blue eyes seemed to grab hold of him with their blonde curls and round cheeks. People always said Zena looked like a doll. Sure, a doll made of steel. She was almost 2 years younger than Max, but he trusted her more than anyone else in the world. I'll get some for us to eat now, he said, but I'll get extra so we can trade for more potatoes. Zena thought for a moment, looking at her lips as she eyed the berries. She gave Max a grudging nod. Before she could change her mind, Max was on his stomach, slithering under the fence. He picked a handful of berries, tossing one to Zena. She caught it and popped it in her mouth, breathing into the biggest smile he had ever seen in weeks. But then her face crumpled. The robin flew away. Max turned just in time to see a Nazi soldier looming over him. Without a word, the man swung his rifle and smacked Max in the side of the head. It's not right. There's the bird that she was talking about. Yeah. The soldier marched Max along a dusty road leading away from the ghetto. He jabbed him in the spine with the sharp tip of his rifle, barking out German commands. Max couldn't understand. They were heading towards town to the police station. Max was sure. No one who was taken there had ever come back. A Nazi flag flew above the building now, an angry red with a black swastika, the twisted Nazi cross. Max could see it in the distance, a bloodstain in the blue sky. That's what the Nazi flag looked like. Max's head throbbed from where the soldier had smacked him, but the pain was nothing compared to the fear that churned inside him. What would the Nazis do to him, and what would happen to Zena alone in the ghetto? The thought made him so weak he could barely walk. The soldier gave him a hard shove to keep moving. The road snaked along the river from the banks below. Max heard laughter and splashing. The sound felt like a cold slap. He could not think of the last time he heard such a happy noise. But he could remember so clearly those days before the war when it had been. Max and Zena splashing in the cool, clear river with not one worry in their minds. When they were younger, they'd play hide and seek with Papa, but sometimes they'd venture too far and get themselves lost. They'd wander around scared the forest would swallow them forever. And then they'd hear Papa's voice calling to them, Max, Zena, where are you? And Max and Zena would cry out, Papa, we're here! And soon enough, Papa would appear, a smile on his face, and he would always say the same thing, I knew I'd find you. The best times were when Aunt Hannah came along. She was Papa's sister, just 19 years old. She'd always been more like a friend to Max than a fussy old aunt. She'd take Max and Zena on hikes, jumping with them from rock to rock, singing their favorite songs. People in town gossiped about Hannah, that she was wild, that she cared more about her books than finding a husband. Of course, Max knew that Hannah didn't want to get married. Not now. She was saving her money to go to America. We'd all go to America together, Aunt Hannah would say. It would be an adventure. And Max would picture himself with Zena and Papa and Hannah standing at the railing of a grand ship looking out over the bright blue ocean. But like everything else in Max's world, the Nazis had shattered that dream. And there was Aunt Hannah now. Max had no idea if she was even alive. The last time he knew she was safe was just one day before they had moved into the ghetto. It was a late night and Hannah had come to their house. Max was always asleep when he heard her voice. He'd almost leaped out of his bed to see her. but she and Papa were fighting, so Max stayed out. I'm going tonight, Hannah was saying. We must go. Keep your voice down, Papa scolded. Where was Aunt Hannah going? Max strained his ears but heard no more. Finally, he crept downstairs, hoping to talk to Aunt Hannah himself, but she was gone. And when Max went to her house the next day, there was no trace of her. Where'd she go? Max asked Papa. Papa just shook his head, and he looked so sad. Max decided not to ask him again. And Max figured it out. Aunt Hannah had managed to catch her ship to America. She had left them behind without even saying goodbye. Thinking of Aunt Hannah made Max's head throb even more as he trudged along the dusty road. He barely heard the rustling sound coming from the bushes, but the soldier whirled around, his pig-like eyes squinting into the thicket on the side of the road. Max's blood froze when he saw a curly blonde head poking up through the bushes. Who do you think it is?
Zena.
Xena! She was crazy to come after him. But of course he would have done the exact same thing for her. Achoo! The soldier barked. He aimed his rifle at Xena, pulled back the bolt, and got ready to fire. Do you think he killed her? Or hurt her? No, I don't think so either. I feel like Max would save his sister, right? At all costs. Thanks for doing this, Rye.
Welcome.